Come closer, child. Tonight, we journey through the labyrinth of time, through the heat and dust of ancient Egypt, where the moon casts long shadows over the great pyramids and secret tombs lie buried beneath the sands. Imagine the scent of the desert on the night air, thick with the promise of gold, ancient secrets, and untold riches. The stars above twinkle like scattered diamonds, but beneath them, darker things move in the shadows. You feel the pull of something forbidden, something dangerous, the allure of treasure hidden in forgotten tombs. And you, daring soul, have decided to step into that world. But be warned, you probably won't survive this. The life of a mummy smuggler is a delicate balance between riches and ruin, and the scales are tipped heavily in favor of the latter. You walk along the banks of the Nile, its waters flowing gently, deceptively calm, as the past whispers to you. This is the land of pharaohs, of gods and curses, of eternal sleep and restless spirits. Beneath your feet, the earth is rich with history, but it's also rich with danger. The tombs, the pyramids, and the burial chambers, once filled with treasures meant to accompany the dead into the afterlife, have become the hunting grounds of thieves. Thieves who risk their lives for the treasures of the long departed. It's a life of secrecy, of quiet footsteps on ancient stone, of voices barely above a whisper. The prize, the jewels, the gold, the sarcophagi encrusted with the wealth of a civilization long gone. The danger. You can't run from the curse of the pharaoh. You can't outrun the law. And even if you manage to steal from the dead, what will you take with you when you inevitably pay the price? But let's not rush. You're about to enter this world, and like all great stories, it doesn't start at the end. No, it starts here, under the warm glow of torchlight, as you listen to the stories of those who have come before you. You'll walk in their footsteps, feel the weight of their choices, and, hopefully, survive the night. Turn down the lights, let the fan whisper softly in the background, and together, let's gently drift into tonight's adventure. The tombs are magnificent, towering monuments to the power of Egypt's rulers. You see them from a distance. The pyramids, immense structures that seem to rise out of the desert like ancient sentinels. But as you get closer, the true nature of these tombs begins to reveal itself. These are not just final resting places for kings and queens. They are repositories of wealth and secrets, untouched for millennia. They were built to last forever, and yet they have become the target of greed. The wealth inside is almost unimaginable. Gold, jewelry, statues, and treasures meant to serve the dead in the afterlife. The Egyptians believed in life after death, but it seems that some of the living would rather rob the dead than honor them. But there's a catch. These tombs were not just filled with wealth. They were also filled with traps, hidden dangers designed to keep tomb robbers at bay. And robbing these tombs isn't like robbing a modern-day bank. You can't just stroll in, grab what you can, and walk away with a smile. No, these tombs are ancient and cursed, and you are an intruder in a world that doesn't want you there. You can feel it. The tension in the air thick and heavy. The walls seem to whisper, the shadows stretch unnaturally long, and every step you take is a step into the unknown. But what choice do you have? The promise of riches is irresistible. You've heard the stories, seen the artifacts brought back by those brave enough, or foolish enough, to enter these sacred grounds. The wealth is tempting, and it's easy to imagine yourself walking away with your arms full of treasure, your pockets heavy with gold. And yet, as you get closer, the whispers grow louder. The tombs aren't just empty stone chambers. They're filled with the lingering presence of those long gone. The Pharaohs are not truly dead, are they? Not in the way the living understand death. They live on in their tombs, in the gold and riches they've hoarded, in the curses placed upon anyone foolish enough to disturb their eternal slumber. In the distance, you see the first of the smugglers. They are dressed like ordinary men. No fancy robes, no obvious signs of wealth. They blend in with the crowd, their faces shadowed under the hoods of their tunics. You realize they are no strangers to this land. These men are the true thieves, the ones who risk everything to plunder the graves of Egypt's greatest rulers. They know the dangers of the tombs. They've been here before, felt the weight of the curses, heard the whispers of the dead. And yet, they go back time and time again, driven by the promise of treasure. One of them catches your eye, a man with a weathered face and sharp, calculating eyes. He doesn't speak much, but his presence is unmistakable. He walks with purpose, his every step measured and careful. There's a quiet confidence about him, a knowing that only comes from experience. He's been through the tombs, seen the traps and survived. Or maybe he hasn't. You don't know for sure, but something tells you that survival in this business isn't guaranteed. He notices you watching him and gives you a nod, a silent acknowledgement of your curiosity. But there's something unsettling about the way he looks at you, as if he's sizing you up, wondering if you're cut out for this life. It's a life that requires more than just courage. It requires cunning, skill, and a certain disregard for the consequences. The smuggler doesn't seem fazed by the dangers of the tombs. Perhaps he's learned to live with them, or perhaps he simply doesn't care. Either way, you know one thing. If you want to survive this world, you'll need to learn from men like him. The question is, will you? You follow the smuggler at a distance, staying out of sight, but feeling the weight of his footsteps like a steady drumbeat. The night air is warm against your skin, but it feels thick with tension, as if the very earth beneath your feet is watching you. Every step you take echoes in the silence, amplifying the weight of the task ahead. The closer you get to the tomb, the heavier the air becomes, charged with the unspoken knowledge that you are trespassing in a place where the living should not tread. As you move through the dusty streets of the city, past the familiar marketplace where merchants haggle over spices and textiles, you can't help but wonder how it all works. These smugglers, these men of shadow, live in plain sight yet manage to operate without being noticed. What is it that they know that you don't? The smuggler in front of you makes his way toward a narrow alley, barely noticeable, but you can sense that it's a path he's traveled many times before. It's like he's walking the edge of the known world, slipping between the cracks in reality, and you're left trailing behind, hoping not to be caught in his wake. You realize the game has already started. You're no longer an outsider to this world. No, you've been pulled in, whether you wanted to or not. The tombs don't just hold the dead. They hold secrets, and those secrets are the currency of this dangerous trade. Smuggling doesn't just mean stealing gold. It means stealing history, the very soul of a civilization. Every piece you take is another link in the chain, a link that binds you to this dark underworld. You'll never fully escape it. The smuggler takes a sharp turn, disappearing through a cracked door that leads down into the earth. You hesitate for a moment, your heart beating faster in your chest. This is it. The tombs are closer now, and everything you've heard about their dangers feels suddenly real. You can almost smell the dampness of the stone, the coolness that promises to swallow you whole once you enter. And yet, you push forward, driven by that same lure that tempts all thieves. The promise of treasure. Gold that will change everything. A life that could be lived without fear. But the truth is, you're not just after gold. You're after something far more dangerous: immortality. Or at least the fleeting taste of it. In a world so obsessed with the afterlife, there's a part of you that wonders if stealing from the dead will somehow make you a part of them, forever etched into history. You'll see soon enough. The smuggler leads you down into the depths of the tomb. The walls narrow as the stone steps spiral deeper into the earth. The air is thick with dust, and the smell of ancient stone fills your nose. It's the scent of the past, the smell of death, that lingers even in the holes of the living. There's no turning back now. The only thing you can do is keep moving forward. You wonder if you'll even make it out of here alive. The tombs are death traps, designed to protect the Pharaohs' treasures from thieves like you. It's not just the curse of the Pharaoh that you have to fear. It's the tomb itself, a labyrinth of twisting passages, hidden pits, and secret traps, all designed to keep intruders from ever leaving. As you descend deeper into the tomb, the sounds of the world above you fade away. The faint echoes of the market, the distant chatter of the city, gone. It's just you and the tomb now. And then, a voice breaks the silence. The smuggler speaks in a low whisper, his words barely audible, as if the very air in the tomb might carry them away. Watch your step. The Pharaoh's traps are deadly, but they're not the worst of it. You can hear the caution in his voice. There's a certain respect that the tombs demand, even from those who make their living robbing them. And yet, you can't help but feel that something worse than death waits down here. Just beyond the flickering torchlight, the tomb opens into a wide chamber, its stone walls etched with hieroglyphs that glow faintly in the torchlight. The air is colder here, and you feel the weight of history pressing in on you, as if the very walls are watching, waiting for your next move. The smuggler steps forward, his eyes scanning the room with practiced ease. He's done this before, many times. But as you look around, you begin to understand just how dangerous this place is. There's no treasure here that's easily taken. Every item, every artifact is protected. The Pharaoh's wealth isn't just about gold, it's about power, and that power doesn't easily let go. The room is filled with statues, intricately carved and adorned with jewels. You can see why they would be valuable, but there's something more to them. The eyes of the statues seem to follow you as you move, and the silence is so profound that it feels like the very air itself is thick with the weight of ancient secrets. You can almost hear the whispers of the dead urging you to leave. But the smuggler is already moving, his fingers tracing the edge of a sarcophagus. The gold shines in the dim light, and your eyes are drawn to it, your heartbeat quickening. But then, you feel it, the pressure in the air, like something's not quite right. The smuggler stops suddenly, his hand hovering over a hidden compartment in the stone. He looks up, his eyes narrowing. "It's too easy," he murmurs. "It's never this easy." You follow his gaze to the sarcophagus, And that's when you see it. A glint of metal, barely visible but unmistakable. A hidden trap. It's one of the many tests laid by the ancient priests to protect the tomb. And you're about to trigger it. The weight of the situation presses down on you, and you feel the cold sweat forming on your brow. In the blink of an eye, everything could go wrong. The smuggler's fingers twitch, and for a moment, you think he's about to grab something. Anything, to disarm the trap. But then he stops, eyes widening in realization. His voice, when it comes, is quiet but full of dread. It's too late. The words hang in the air like a warning bell, and you feel the sharp prickle of fear crawl up your spine. You're too far in now, too far down to turn back. You'll need to be smart, fast, and luckier than you've ever been. Your eyes dart around the room, desperately searching for a way out. The walls seem to close in on you, the silence growing heavier with each passing second. You hear nothing at first, but then there's a soft click, like the turning of a key or the winding of a spring. It's subtle but unmistakable. The trap is triggered. The smuggler curses under his breath, and in the dim torchlight, you see him leap to one side, out of the path of danger. You follow his lead, moving with quick, calculated steps as the ground beneath you seems to shift. It's as if the tomb is alive, reacting to your presence, ready to swallow you whole for daring to disturb its slumber. Suddenly, the floor beneath you begins to tremble, the sound of stone scraping against stone echoing through the chamber. The walls groan like the ancient bones of the earth. You feel the tremor deep in your chest, like the pulse of the tomb itself. The trap has been set in motion, and the walls are closing in, the stone doors slowly inching toward one another. The only way out is up, but the ceiling above you is nothing more than a mass of stone, jagged and uneven, offering no refuge. The smuggler moves quickly, his body low to the ground, his movements sharp and precise. He knows this place, knows how to survive it. You, on the other hand, are still a stranger to these dangers, still a novice to the tomb's deadly rhythm. You follow him, doing your best to mimic his movements, feeling the sweat on your brow as you scramble for purchase on the slick stone floor. A distant rumble shakes the ground, and you realize just how narrow your escape is. The air grows colder, and the torchlight flickers, as if the flames themselves are struggling to survive in the tomb's suffocating darkness. The path forward is becoming increasingly treacherous, but you can't stop. You've come too far. Every step now is a choice between life and death, and you have no option but to keep moving. The smuggler stops abruptly in front of a narrow passage, barely wide enough to fit through. The walls press in on either side, but there's no time to hesitate. He motions for you to follow him, and you don't need to be told twice. You squeeze through the gap, your body scraping against the cold stone, the darkness pressing in from every side. The torchlight barely reaches this far, and the air feels thick, heavy, and stagnant. You can feel your heart racing, every beat louder than the last. Just as you think you can't take it anymore, you hear it. The unmistakable sound of rushing water. You're close, so close to the treasure now. The tomb's hidden passageways twist and turn like veins running through the earth, leading to the heart of the Pharaoh's resting place. There's a slight glimmer in the distance, just enough to catch your eye. The treasure must be near. But then the ground beneath your feet shifts again, this time more violently. You lose your balance and stumble, falling against the rough wall of the passage. For a moment, everything is silent, and you hold your breath, waiting for the inevitable. The tomb is trying to take you, to consume you whole, but you won't give in. Not yet. You rise to your feet, shaking the dust from your tunic, and push forward. The smuggler has already disappeared around the next corner, and you have no choice but to follow. You catch up to him, your footsteps echoing in the narrow corridor. He's moving faster now, his pace quickening as the passage opens into a larger chamber. This is it, the treasure room. You stop at the threshold, unable to believe your eyes. The room is filled with gold, jewels, and artifacts that seem to shimmer in the dim light. You've made it. The Pharaohs' wealth, the culmination of countless centuries of history, lies before you. The walls are adorned with intricate carvings, and in the center of the room rests a massive sarcophagus, its lid covered in precious stones. It's beautiful, terrifying, and forbidden all at once. But as you step into the room, you feel it again, the overwhelming sense that you don't belong here. The air is thick with the weight of the dead, and the silence is deafening. You know what the smuggler knows? You've reached the heart of the tomb, but you've also reached its deadliest trap. The Pharaoh's curse hangs heavy in the air. You wonder if it's already too late, if the curse is already closing in on you, as inevitable as the passing of time itself. You hear the smuggler mutter under his breath, "Don't touch anything." His voice is sharp, but there's a note of urgency in it. He moves forward, but you hesitate, your eyes locked on the treasures before you. The temptation is overwhelming. Every part of you screams to take it, to claim what you've risked so much to find. But something deep inside tells you that the price will be higher than you could ever imagine. For the first time since you entered the tomb, you feel a real fear, a fear of the consequences of your actions. The Pharaoh's treasures are not meant to be taken. Not by you, not by anyone. And yet, here you are, standing in the heart of this ancient world, knowing that the very air you breathe could be your last. The smuggler continues his careful steps toward the sarcophagus. But something is different in the air now. It's not the stifling heat of the tomb, or the shadows that stretch endlessly in every direction. It's the weight of your own choices. You can feel it pressing against you, as if the walls of the tomb themselves are closing in, tightening their grip. The smuggler moves with purpose, his eyes scanning every corner of the room. But you can't help but linger. The treasure is so close now. It's almost within your reach. And then, in the stillness, you hear it. The faintest whisper, so soft that at first you think it's just the wind. But no, it's more than that. It's a voice, ancient and distant, calling out from the depths of the tomb. You can't make out the words, but the tone is unmistakable. Warning. It's as if the tomb itself is speaking to you, its voice a low murmur that reverberates through the stone. The smuggler doesn't seem to hear it, or perhaps he's learned to ignore it. But you can't ignore it. You feel it deep in your bones. Your eyes flicker over the treasures once again. The gold, the jewels, the statues, and you feel the familiar pull. It's tempting, more tempting than you ever imagined. But something inside you holds back, a faint whisper of doubt growing louder. You take a step back, your heart racing, and you feel a cold sweat break out across your forehead. The tomb is watching you. You can almost hear its heartbeat, the slow, steady thrum of ancient power. The smuggler reaches the sarcophagus and crouches beside it. He brushes his fingers lightly across the edge, as if feeling the weight of the centuries that have passed since it was sealed. "We're close," he mutters, almost to himself. Close to the heart of it all. His voice is quiet, reverent. But there's no time for reverence. There's only the task at hand. He lifts the lid of the sarcophagus, and for a moment, everything is still. The room holds its breath, as if the very tomb is waiting for this moment to unfold. The gold of the sarcophagus glints in the dim light, and you feel the weight of history pressing down on you. This is it. This is what you came for. The treasure, the riches, the fame. It's all right here, just waiting to be taken. But as the lid slowly creaks open, you feel a chill run down your spine. It's not the air that's cold. It's not the stone. It's something else. A presence. The air shifts, as if something unseen is moving in the shadows. The smuggler doesn't seem to notice, his focus entirely on the contents of the sarcophagus. But you can't tear your gaze away from the opening. The whispers grow louder now, and you can almost feel them curling around you, urging you to step back. You've come this far, but is it too late to turn around? Inside the sarcophagus lies the mummified body of the pharaoh, wrapped in linen and adorned with jewelry, the remnants of a life long past. But it's not just the body that catches your attention. It's the eyes. They are empty, hollow sockets, yet you can feel them staring at you. The dead are watching, and in that moment, you understand the real cost of this treasure. It's not the wealth, the gold, or the jewels. It's the curse, the price you must pay for disturbing the eternal rest of a king. The smuggler reaches for a jeweled necklace lying next to the pharaoh's mummified form, and in that moment you see it. Something that wasn't there before. A glint of light, a flash in the shadows moving quickly. Your heart skips a beat. Something is wrong. The trap is closing in, but it's not the tomb's walls that are shifting now. It's the very air around you. Someone has noticed your presence. Someone who was never meant to be disturbed. The smuggler grabs the necklace, his fingers trembling slightly. But as he does, the room seems to come alive, vibrating with ancient power. The whispers grow louder, until they're almost deafening. It's as if the tomb itself is screaming at you to leave, to get out before it's too late. But it's already too late. The air is thick now, dense with the weight of 1,000 years of death and secrets. You hear a loud crack, the sound of stone shifting, grinding against itself, and the ground beneath you trembles once more. The smuggler looks up, his eyes wide with realization. He drops the necklace, but it's too late. The trap is already set into motion. The walls seem to shift. The floor opens beneath your feet, and in an instant, you're falling. There's no time to react, no time to scream. The tomb, which you once thought you could conquer, now has you in its grip. You fall, your body weightless in the darkness, the light of the torches far above growing smaller and smaller, until it's swallowed by the blackness. You land hard, but the fall isn't what takes your breath away. No, it's the cold. The air down here is colder than anything you've ever felt before, like the breath of the dead itself. You can't move, your body refusing to obey your commands. The tomb has claimed you, just as it has claimed so many others before you. The silence that follows is suffocating. The only sound is your heartbeat, echoing in the stillness of the depths. You've entered the tomb's true heart now. And the heart of the tomb, it seems, is not made of gold or jewels. It's made of death. You can feel it pressing in on you from every side, the weight of the Pharaohs' curse, the anger of the gods. You've disturbed their peace, and now there will be a price to pay. The silence is deafening, thick and suffocating. You lie still in the cold darkness, unable to move as the tomb presses in around you. The fall wasn't far, but it feels like an eternity. You can feel the weight of the stone surrounding you, pressing down on your chest, forcing the air from your lungs. The faint flicker of the torchlight above you is barely visible now, and you realize with a cold shiver that you have no idea where you are. The tomb has swallowed you whole, and it's not ready to let go. For a moment, panic claws at the edges of your mind. But you push it away, forcing yourself to breathe slowly, deliberately, to stay calm. The tomb is ancient, and it has a rhythm all its own. It is patient, slow, and unrelenting. You are not the first to fall into its grasp, and you won't be the last. The question is whether you'll be the one who makes it out. You push yourself up slowly, your hands trembling as they meet the cold stone. The air is thick with dust and the smell of decay, and you cough as the dryness stings your throat. The darkness is absolute, the kind that seems to swallow every sound, every movement. There's no light here, no sense of direction. Just you alone in the deep heart of the tomb. You begin to move cautiously, your feet shuffling against the uneven stone floor, your hands tracing the walls for some kind of clue, some sign that there is a way out. The air grows colder the deeper you go, the silence pressing down like a physical weight, and then you hear it, a faint sound, almost imperceptible at first, but unmistakable once it settles into your ears. The distant drip of water, the faintest of echoes, deep in the belly of the tomb. The noise isn't comforting, but it's something, a direction. A sign that this place isn't as dead as it seems. You move toward the sound, your heart beating faster now. There's no telling what lies ahead, but the drip of water offers a shred of hope. It's strange how something so simple can feel so important when you're trapped in a place like this. You follow the sound, your footsteps soft against the stone, listening intently for any signs of movement. You have to be careful. The tomb doesn't forgive. It doesn't forget. As you round a corner, you're met with the sight of a narrow passageway, the walls slick with moisture, the faint gleam of water trickling down the stone. The sound of the drip is louder now, echoing off the walls in a rhythmic pattern that seems almost deliberate. You pause for a moment, listening. The water has to lead somewhere. It might be your only way out. You step forward cautiously, moving slowly, as if the tomb itself might spring to life and swallow you whole. Your breath is shallow, your heart pounding in your chest. The air feels different here. Cooler, fresher, like the tomb is shifting its grip. You wonder if it's a trap, another one of the Pharaoh's deadly designs, or if it's just the natural flow of water through the ancient structure. Either way, it's a risk you have to take. You don't have any other choice. The passage narrows as you walk, and the stone beneath your feet becomes slick with moisture. The sound of dripping water fills the space, growing louder with each step. The walls of the passage feel close, too close, pressing in on you like the tomb itself is trying to suffocate you. And then, just as quickly as it appeared, the passage opens up into a large chamber. You stop short at the sight before you. It's not what you expected. The chamber is large, but the air here is heavy, stagnant, as though it hasn't moved in centuries. The walls are adorned with intricate carvings, ancient symbols that are familiar to you, but their meaning is lost in time. In the center of the room stands an altar, simple, yet foreboding, made of the same dark stone that fills the tomb. There's something strange about it, something unsettling. It's as though the room itself is holding its breath, waiting for you to make your move. At the far end of the room, you see what you've been looking for, a small stream of water trickling from an opening in the wall. It's the source of the sound you've been following. The water flows steadily, unbroken, as though it's been doing so for centuries. You wonder where it leads. You can't imagine it's just a natural spring. This tomb, after all, was never meant to be disturbed. You approach the stream cautiously, watching the water as it flows through the chamber. It's murky, tinged with the same ancient dust that fills the tomb, but it's water nonetheless. It feels like a lifeline, a way out of this dark, suffocating place. But as you reach the edge of the stream, something catches your eye. At the far end of the chamber, near the altar, there's something glowing. You can't make it out at first. Just a faint shimmer, almost like a reflection. But as you step closer, the glow becomes clearer, more defined. It's a figure, cloaked in shadow, standing at the base of the altar. You freeze. The figure doesn't move, doesn't speak. It stands perfectly still, as though waiting for you to make the first move. You can feel the air around you grow colder still. The sense of something ancient, something watching, settles over you like a blanket. The figure is no longer just a presence. It's a challenge, a warning. You realize with a jolt that the tomb isn't just a place of death. It's a place of judgment. You've disturbed the resting place of the Pharaoh, and now the tomb is demanding its price. The figure at the altar shifts slightly, the faint light that surrounds it flickering like the last breath of a dying flame. You know this moment will define your fate. Do you step forward? Do you challenge the tomb? Or do you retreat into the shadows, hoping for escape? Either way, the Pharaoh's curse is already closing in, wrapping around you like a noose. The figure in the distance doesn't move, but the presence it carries presses down on you like the weight of the entire tomb. The stillness is suffocating, almost unbearable. Your breath comes slower now, each inhale feeling heavier, more deliberate. The Pharaoh's curse, the one you've heard whispers about, the one that has claimed so many before you, feels very real now, wrapped around you like a cold cloak. You're not alone in this tomb anymore. The figure, whatever it is, watches you. Its silence is oppressive. The air grows even colder. The stream trickles softly. A sound that once seemed comforting now adds to the oppressive stillness. Every drop of water that falls from the stone feels like it's echoing in your skull. The walls close in, or so it feels. You wonder if it's just your mind playing tricks on you. Is the tomb shifting? Or is it your heartbeat quickening in your chest, pounding out a rhythm of dread? You can't tell anymore. The tomb itself feels alive, shifting with your every move, responding to your presence like an ancient beast sensing prey. The figure at the altar shifts slightly, just enough for you to see a glint of something in its hand, a staff, or maybe something else. You can't quite tell. The shadows distort the details, making everything feel surreal, like you've stepped into a nightmare of your own making. The tomb is no longer a place of wealth and treasures. It's a place of judgment, of punishment. You realize that the Pharaoh's legacy isn't just about gold. It's about power, and it's about what happens to those who dare disturb that power. You've disturbed it. For a moment, the tomb feels like it's watching you with 1,000 eyes, the walls themselves alive with the weight of history, of secrets kept for centuries. The air is thick with the scent of earth, stone, and the faint, musty odor of age. You can almost feel the centuries pressing down on your shoulders. The whispers are louder now, more urgent, but they're not in a language you can understand. They sound like the faint cries of the dead, unheard voices that stretch through time, begging for silence, begging for rest. The figure doesn't move closer, doesn't take another step. It's as if it's waiting for something, waiting for you to make a decision. And in this moment, you realize what it is. The tomb is giving you a choice between escape and further trespass, between life and death. You glance down at the stream again. It's still flowing, steady and unbroken. The water might be the key to your escape, but what if it's not? What if the stream, like everything else in this tomb, is part of the trap? The glow around the figure intensifies, and you feel a shiver run down your spine. The air grows heavier, thicker, and a soft rumbling sound, like a distant storm, fills the chamber. The tomb is reacting to you. It's reacting to your presence. You take a step forward, your footfall barely making a sound on the stone floor. Each step feels like a defiance of the curse itself. The figure at the altar shifts again, its posture straighter now, as if acknowledging your decision. Your heart beats faster in your chest, but you force yourself to breathe slowly, evenly. You have to make it to the stream. It's your only chance. The figure's presence is suffocating, and you need the comfort of the water, the clarity it might offer. The figure seems to sense your decision. It raises its arm, and you notice the staff, or whatever it is, in its hand. A deep, guttural voice echoes through the chamber. It's not a voice you hear with your ears. It's a voice that fills your mind, as if the very tomb is speaking to you. Leave now, and you may escape, it says. The voice is ancient, but its meaning is clear. Take what you came for, and you will die with the Pharaoh. You hesitate, every instinct telling you to flee, to turn back, to leave the treasure and the tomb behind. The figure's words hang in the air, a grim reminder that this place was never meant to be disturbed. But something in you resists. You've come too far, risked too much to turn back now. The Pharaoh's wealth is almost within your grasp. The smuggler, you think, would never have hesitated. He would have taken what he wanted and left with it. And yet, the figure at the altar shifts again, and the glow surrounding it intensifies, turning from a soft shimmer to a glaring light. The whispers in the tomb grow louder, more frantic. The walls begin to rumble, and the floor beneath you shifts as though the tomb itself is waking up. The decision is upon you now. The curse is real, and the tomb's wrath is inevitable. The question is, will you claim the treasure, or will you flee and leave it behind, hoping that the Pharaoh's judgment will spare you? The smuggler's words from earlier echo in your mind. You're not the first, and you won't be the last. You know this is true. But the tomb has never been this alive, this aware. The Pharaoh's spirit has awoken, and it's asking you to make your choice. As the rumbling grows louder, you take a deep breath. The tomb has spoken. Now it's your turn. The figure at the altar stands motionless, as if waiting for your response. The ancient light glowing ever brighter, its harshness now an undeniable force pressing down on you. The walls tremble again, as if the very earth beneath your feet is shifting, preparing to swallow you whole. The water continues to flow, its soft sound growing distant, as the weight of the tomb's presence overwhelms everything around you. It's strange, this feeling, like being caught in a moment between life and death, as though every breath you take might be your last. You try to focus on the decision, but the whispers have become louder, more insistent. They claw at your thoughts, tugging at your resolve. Take it, they seem to say. Take it and be free. But then the figure raises its arm again, and the rumbling intensifies, the tomb's warning echoing in your mind, leave now or pay the price. The very air in the chamber feels charged, as though something great and terrible is waiting just out of sight, just beyond your reach. You take a step forward, and the stone beneath your feet groans as though in protest. The figure's eyes, those hollow, empty sockets, seem to follow your every movement. They're not just watching you, they're waiting. It's as if the tomb itself has drawn a line in the sand, daring you to cross it. You glance back at the stream. The water looks so peaceful, flowing unbroken through the stone, yet there's something disquieting about it now. What if it's not an escape at all? What if the water leads further into the tomb, deeper into the Pharaoh's power? Your heart pounds in your chest as doubt creeps in. The treasure, the riches, they're still out of reach. But the tomb has already given you a choice. You could leave it all behind and run, or you could take your chances and claim the wealth. But there's no turning back after that. For a moment, you close your eyes, trying to shut out the overwhelming weight of the tomb, of the figure standing at the altar, of the voices that swirl around you. You think of the outside world, of the sunlight, the fresh air, the sounds of the living. You remember what it was like before you set foot in this place, before the allure of gold and treasure led you into this ancient, suffocating tomb. But then, just as quickly, you remember why you came here: the wealth, the fame, the immortality that comes with being the one to rob the Pharaoh's resting place. You can feel it now, the desire coursing through your veins. You've come so far. It would be foolish to turn back. With a shaky breath, you make your decision. You'll risk it. You'll claim the treasure. You step forward, your feet moving slowly, carefully, as if each step is a test of your will. The figure at the altar does not move, but you sense its gaze upon you, weighing your every action. The tomb, it seems, is holding its breath. And then, without warning, the floor beneath you shifts again. The rumble becomes a roar as the walls close in, and you realize that you're not just walking deeper into the tomb. You're walking into the Pharaoh's wrath. You reach out for the treasure, for the sarcophagus that holds the wealth of 1,000 lifetimes. But the air grows thicker, heavier. The temperature drops so suddenly that you can see your breath in front of you, misting in the air like smoke. The whispers are deafening now, a cacophony of voices that swirl around you, urging you on. But there's something else too, something darker. The tomb is waking up, and it's angry. The figure at the altar lifts its arm again, and this time you hear the words clearly, as if they're spoken directly into your mind. The price of greed is eternal. The ground beneath you trembles once more, and you feel a sharp, piercing pain shoot through your chest, as though the tomb itself has reached into you. The pain is overwhelming, as if the very essence of the tomb, is seeping into your soul, claiming what you've taken. You stagger back, gasping for air, but the pain won't stop. It's like a burning fire spreading through your veins, a weight that presses down on your chest, threatening to crush you. You clutch at your throat, trying to breathe, trying to escape the invisible grip tightening around you. The whispers grow louder, more frantic, until they're deafening, echoing through your skull. You realize with horror that the tomb isn't just punishing you. It's consuming you, taking what you've stolen and giving you nothing in return. The figure at the altar takes a step forward now, its form shifting in the flickering light, its presence more real than ever before. You try to move, to run, but your body feels heavy, slow, as if it's being weighed down by the tomb itself. The pain intensifies, and you collapse to your knees, your vision swimming. The figure's hollow eyes stare down at you, and you hear its voice, low and steady. No one escapes the Pharaoh's wrath. No one. The tomb's power has taken hold of you. There's no escape now. The wealth you sought, the treasure you dreamed of, it was never yours to take. The tomb was always the true master, and you were just a fleeting shadow passing through its halls. The Pharaoh's curse was real. It always was. And now, you will become part of its eternal history. As the darkness closes in, you feel the cold embrace of death wash over you. The tomb has claimed you, just as it has claimed countless others before you. The treasure you sought was never meant for the living. It was always for the dead. The darkness presses in, thick and suffocating, as if the tomb itself is consuming you, swallowing you whole. The pain that grips your chest intensifies, but it is no longer physical. It's something deeper, something more fundamental. It's as if the very fabric of your being is unraveling, thread by thread, being pulled into the abyss of the tomb. The whispers around you are no longer just echoes in the dark. They are voices that belong to the dead, to the many who have dared to enter this place before you. And now you are one of them. The figure at the altar looms closer, its presence overwhelming. Its hollow eyes pierce you, but there is no malice in them. There is only the weight of inevitability, the understanding that, in this place, no one escapes. You try to push yourself up, but your body refuses to obey. Every movement feels like wading through quicksand. The tomb has claimed you, and there is no escaping its grip. You hear the figure speak again, its voice not in your ears, but deep within your mind. It is a voice older than time itself, as ancient as the tomb you have trespassed upon. This is the price of greed, it says, its words carrying the weight of centuries. This is the cost of disturbing the eternal rest of the Pharaoh. You want to scream, to plead, but your throat is dry, your mouth too parched to form a sound. The tomb is alive with its whispers, its angry pulse, and you can feel it in every part of your being. It is not just a place of stone and dust. It is a living entity, a presence that has existed for millennia, waiting for those like you who dare to defile its sanctity. And now, the tomb has chosen you as its next victim. The pain in your chest grows colder, sharper, until it is unbearable. You clutch your heart, desperate for relief, but none comes. The Pharaoh's wrath has seeped into your very soul, and there is no escape. You are nothing more than a fleeting shadow, a brief disturbance in the tomb's eternal slumber. It is as if the tomb itself is whispering your final fate, promising that you will be just another forgotten soul lost in its depths. But then, as the world around you begins to blur, you hear something else. a voice that does not belong to the tomb. It is faint at first, a whisper that barely reaches your ears. You can still leave. The words are so soft, so faint, but they reach you with the clarity of a bell tolling in the distance. For a moment, the pain in your chest recedes, just slightly. Your breath becomes easier, the grip of the tomb loosening ever so slightly. You look around, and for the first time since you entered this cursed place, you see something that wasn't there before. The figure at the altar has stepped back, its eyes still fixed on you, but it no longer feels as if it is watching you with judgment. It feels distant, almost detached. Leave now, the voice whispers again, and this time you feel a pull, a tug deep within you. The tomb may have claimed so many before you, but there is a glimmer of something else, a chance, a way out. The choice is yours. You have reached the heart of the tomb, but it is not too late to turn back. With all the strength you can muster, you push yourself to your feet. The pain still lingers, but it is no longer all-consuming. It is as though the tomb itself is letting go, if only just enough for you to make your escape. You stagger toward the stream, the sound of the water now louder than before. The whispers of the dead seem to grow fainter as you move, the oppressive atmosphere of the tomb lifting, just enough to let you breathe. You don't look back, but you can feel the presence of the tomb behind you, watching, waiting. The stream is still flowing, steady and unbroken, like the last thread of hope in this place. You step closer, feeling the cool touch of the water against your fingers. It's not much, but it's enough to steady your mind, to remind you that the tomb is not invincible. You have found a way out. You step into the stream, feeling the water flow around your legs. As you move deeper into its current, the cold is shocking at first, but it clears your mind, sharpens your senses. The tomb's grip loosens even more, as though it has resigned itself to your escape. You keep moving, step by step, until the glow of the figure at the altar is nothing but a faint memory in the distance. With each step you take, the air grows warmer, the walls less oppressive. The whispers fade into the background, replaced by the sound of your own breath, steady and calm. The tomb, which once seemed so alive with its judgment and its curses, now feels like an ancient, fading relic. You can almost hear the echo of the Pharaohs' last words, warning you not to take what isn't yours. But the tomb's power no longer holds sway over you. You've outlasted it. You've outwitted it. The light ahead grows brighter, and you feel the air shift once more. You're no longer in the tomb, no longer in its dark grip. You step into the light, feeling the cool night air rush to meet you. The tomb, with all its power and curses, has been left behind. You take a deep breath, and for the first time since you entered this forsaken place, you feel truly free. The Pharaohs' treasures remain behind, untouched, but the true treasure, you realize, was never gold or jewels. It was your life. You made it out. You survived. As the night sky stretches out before you, you allow yourself a moment to savor the relief. You've come too far to let it slip away now. The tomb may still claim its victims, but you are no longer one of them. You've escaped. The night air is cool against your skin. As you step away from the tomb, the oppressive weight of its ancient grip slipping away with every step you take. The darkness of the desert seems less threatening now, less consuming. You can still hear the distant hum of the tomb's whispers, but they grow fainter as you walk further into the open air toward the light of the distant stars. The only sound now is the steady rhythm of your breath, the pulse of life still strong in your chest. You made it. You're free. For the first time in what feels like forever, you look around. The desert stretches out before you, vast and endless, but the weight of the tomb no longer hangs over you. The moon casts a soft glow over the sand, and for a moment, you can almost forget the horrors that lay behind you, hidden in the stone and the shadows of the tomb. It's almost peaceful, in a way. The air smells faintly of earth, and the distant scent of jasmine carried on a soft breeze. The world feels vast, and for the first time, you realize that you've come to the edge of something larger than you ever imagined. The tomb was never just a place of death. It was a place of tests, of trials that left their marks on those who dared to enter. But you've survived. You take another step, your eyes fixed on the horizon. The journey is far from over. You know that now. The tomb, with its treasures and its curse, was only one chapter. The world outside is vast, full of its own dangers, its own traps. But for now you're safe. For now you're free. As you walk further, the cold desert air fills your lungs. It's refreshing, life-giving, and it reminds you that even the most oppressive darkness can be followed by light. You think back to the figure in the tomb, the guardian of the Pharaoh's resting place. You remember its hollow eyes, its unwavering presence. The tomb's power is not gone. It still exists, still waits for its next victim. But you won't be that victim. Not today. The sand beneath your feet shifts, and with it, you realize something else. Something you hadn't noticed before. The tomb's curse, the Pharaoh's judgment, isn't just a punishment. It's a warning. A warning to those who would disturb the dead, to those who would think themselves above the forces that shape the world. It's a reminder that no matter how much treasure you may gain, there is always a price to pay. And sometimes, the price isn't measured in gold or jewels. It's measured in something far more precious. You pause for a moment, standing still in the desert. The world is quiet, the only sound the gentle rustle of the wind, and you realize that your journey through the tomb has changed you. The desire for treasure, for wealth, no longer holds the same allure. What you've gained, what you've truly gained, was the understanding that life, true life, is worth more than any treasure. It's something that cannot be bought or stolen, something that no tomb can claim. The stars above seem to shine a little brighter now, as if to acknowledge the shift within you. You've made it out, and for that, you can feel a strange sense of gratitude. The Pharaoh's wrath was fierce, but you were stronger. The tomb is not just a place of death, it is a place of lessons, and you have learned them all too well. With the tomb behind you, the future stretches out before you, uncertain but full of potential. There are no guarantees, no promises of safety, but there is a certainty in the air now, something deep within you that tells you that no matter what comes next, you will face it with the wisdom and strength you've gained in the depths of the Pharaoh's tomb. And so, you walk on, the soft sand beneath your feet now comforting instead of oppressive. You know that your journey isn't over, that there are still challenges ahead, still obstacles to overcome, but for now you have survived. You have faced the tomb, faced the curse, and come out the other side. And that, in itself, is a victory. As you continue into the desert night, the stars above guiding your way, you can't help but feel that there's more to this story than treasure and curses. The real treasure, you realize, is in the stories you will tell, the lessons you will carry with you, and the strength you will carry forward into whatever the future holds. And for the first time since you entered the tomb, you feel a deep sense of peace settle over you. The tomb may have claimed many before you, but you're not one of them. You're free. The stars above guide you through the desert night, their light a steady, ancient presence in the sky. You walk in the silence of the desert, the faint crunch of sand beneath your feet, the only sound accompanying you on this journey. The weight of the tomb is far behind now, but its lessons linger, imprinted on your mind, on your very being. As you walk further, you realize that you are not the same person who entered the tomb, driven by greed and the hunger for gold. Something inside you has changed. The Pharaoh's curse, the trial you endured, has reshaped you in ways you cannot yet fully understand. The desert stretches out before you, vast and unending, a sea of sand illuminated by the glow of the moon. The wind stirs the grains, shifting the dunes into ever-changing patterns. There's a strange beauty in the desert, a stark reminder that even in the harshest environments, life finds a way to survive. You walk on, the air growing colder as the night deepens. But there's something comforting in the stillness, something peaceful in the solitude. The desert doesn't judge you. It simply is. As you move through the night, the tomb's curse feels more and more distant, as if it belongs to another life, another time. The treasure you once sought, the riches that seemed so important, now seem so trivial, so fleeting. You realize that the Pharaoh's wealth was never the real prize. The real treasure, you've come to understand, is the gift of life itself. Life to make your own choices, to carve your own path, free from the weight of the tomb, free from the curse. You stop for a moment, taking a deep breath and letting the cool desert air fill your lungs. It feels different now, more alive, more real. The harshness of the tomb, its stone walls and ancient traps, seems like a distant memory, something that no longer holds sway over you. The tomb was never just a physical place. It was a test of your spirit, a challenge to your very soul. And you've passed. You've survived. As the night progresses, the landscape begins to change. The sand dunes start to give way to more solid ground, the horizon ahead growing clearer. The desert still stretches out in every direction, but now there is something more in the air, a sense of possibility, of potential. The tomb, with its darkness and danger, is behind you. The world ahead is full of choices, and you feel the weight of those choices settling in your chest. You've learned, through hardship, through suffering, that life isn't just about seeking treasure, about chasing after wealth or fame. It's about what you make of it, about the stories you create, about the path you choose to walk. The wind picks up, swirling around you, and you feel a strange sense of freedom wash over you. The tomb, with all its power and mystique, has lost its grip on you. It is no longer a part of your story. You are the one who gets to decide how the story ends. You are the one who gets to write the next chapter. The stars above seem to shine a little brighter now, as if the very sky itself is watching over you. The night feels full of promise, of new beginnings, of second chances. You think back on the tomb, on the curse, on the figure at the altar, and you realize that you are not the same person who entered. You've learned something far more valuable than any treasure, a lesson that will stay with you for the rest of your life. The desert stretches on, vast and endless, but you no longer feel small in its presence. You are part of the landscape now, part of the world, a traveler with a story to tell, a journey that has only just begun. And as you walk on, the tomb's shadow recedes further into the past, and the world ahead opens up before you, full of endless possibilities. The road you walk is not the same as the one you thought you were on when you entered the tomb. But that's the beauty of it, isn't it? Life is unpredictable, full of twists and turns, but it is yours to navigate. The tomb was a lesson, a hard, cruel lesson. But you've learned it, and now with it behind you, you can step forward with clarity, with a sense of purpose, knowing that the world is waiting for you. As the first light of dawn begins to break over the horizon, you take one last look back. The tomb is a shadow now, far behind you, a relic of the past. It no longer holds the power to haunt you. The treasure is forgotten, the curse lifted. You have emerged from it, stronger, wiser, and more certain of the life you want to live. And with that, you turn toward the rising sun, walking forward into the future, knowing that whatever comes next, you will face it with the strength you've gained. The desert may be harsh, the world unpredictable, but you've learned to survive. And that is more than any treasure could ever give you. As the light of the early dawn stretches across the horizon, you walk onward, the warmth of the sun beginning to brush against your skin, a stark contrast to the cold grip of the tomb that still lingers in your memory. The desert, with its vast emptiness, feels less like a barren wasteland and more like an open road to new beginnings. You can almost feel the earth beneath your feet shifting, offering you a fresh start, a clean slate. The wind stirs the sand around you, and the world seems to come alive with possibilities. You've left the tomb behind, but you carry its lessons with you now, tucked away in the deepest corners of your mind. It's funny, isn't it? How life often gives you the hardest tests, the ones that seem impossible to survive, and yet, when you come out on the other side, you're not the same person. You're stronger, you're wiser, and you know better now. With each step you take, you feel the burden lifting, the weight of the curse and the gold slipping away, leaving you with something much more valuable: your life. The tomb had offered its treasures, its riches, but at a price that none could truly afford. You now understand that no amount of gold can buy what you've gained. This hard-earned knowledge that the greatest treasure of all is the freedom to choose your own path. The desert stretches out before you, a vast sea of sand, but it's no longer intimidating. It's an open canvas, waiting for you to create the next chapter of your story. The tomb was just a chapter, a necessary one, perhaps, but it was not the end. No, this is just the beginning. You take a deep breath, feeling the warmth of the sun grow stronger with each passing moment. The air is dry, but with it comes the clarity of thought, the sharpness of purpose. For the first time, you feel truly alive. The tomb had its power, yes, but you've learned that power comes not from gold or curses, but from the choices you make in the face of adversity. As the day fully breaks over the horizon, you stop for a moment, looking out at the vast landscape before you. The world is so much bigger than you ever realized, and the possibilities are endless. You think about the figure at the altar, the one who warned you, the one who seemed to embody the wrath of the tomb. And yet, it didn't stop you. In fact, it only made you more determined to escape, to survive, to make it out alive. There's a sense of peace now, an inner calm that has settled over you like the warmth of the sun. The desert, The tomb, the curse. They all feel like a distant memory, something that has already been dealt with. You no longer feel the weight of their presence hanging over you. You've moved on. You've left them behind, and in doing so, you've taken your first steps towards something new. But even as you move forward, you can't help but think about those who will follow in your footsteps. The tomb still stands, after all. The Pharaoh's curse is still there, waiting for the next treasure seeker, the next fool who believes they can take what doesn't belong to them. You understand now, with a clarity you didn't have before, that the tomb is not just a place of death. It's a place of lessons. And you've learned them all too well. But will others? Will they understand the cost before it's too late? You continue walking, the sun now fully risen and casting its golden light across the desert. The path ahead is uncertain, but it is yours to walk. There is no more fear in your heart, no more doubt. You've made it out, and you are free. The tomb is behind you, but it will always be a part of you, a reminder of what you've survived, what you've learned. And now, it's time to live the life you've earned. The horizon ahead calls to you, endless and open, full of possibilities. The treasure of the Pharaohs may still lie hidden in the tomb, but the true treasure, the one that no curse can take, is the one you carry with you now, the gift of life, the gift of choice, the gift of freedom. And as you walk into the future, you know that whatever comes next, you will face it with strength, wisdom, and a new understanding of what truly matters. The desert stretches endlessly before you, and though the sun blazes overhead, you feel a surprising sense of peace. You've walked far now, the tomb a distant memory behind you, its shadows fading with each step you take into the bright expanse of the day. The weight of the past, of curses, treasure, and judgment, has lifted, and in its place you carry something far more precious, a new sense of purpose. The silence of the desert, broken only by the occasional gust of wind, is comforting in its simplicity. For the first time in a long while, you feel connected to the earth, to the air, to everything around you. It's as if the world itself is welcoming you back. You take a deep breath, letting the dry desert air fill your lungs. There's something cleansing about it, something that cuts through the haze of confusion and uncertainty that followed you through the tomb. It's as if you've been reborn, and this desert is your new beginning. Your thoughts begin to clear, and you allow yourself to consider the future. The future that is now, at last, yours to shape. The tomb had been a test, a trial by fire. It was never just about treasure. It wasn't about escaping the curse, either, though that was part of it. No, it was about the journey itself. It was about facing something far greater than the tomb, than the Pharaoh's wrath. It was about facing yourself. The lessons you learned in those cold, dark corridors were lessons about life, about the choices we make, the consequences of those choices, and the strength we find when we face the unknown. You remember the figure at the altar, its presence like a shadow over your every decision. It had warned you, challenged you, and in the end, it had been your strength, your determination that led you out. You think about that now as the wind kicks up, stirring the sand around your feet. The figure didn't need to speak its warning aloud. It had been in the very walls of the tomb, in the cold air, in the whispers. The tomb had tested you, yes, but it had also given you a gift, the gift of perspective. It had shown you that greed and ambition are hollow without wisdom, that the treasures of the world are fleeting and never worth more than the life you have to give for them. As the day continues to unfold, you allow yourself to reflect on your journey so far. It wasn't just the tomb that changed you. It was the way you walked through it, the way you faced the darkness. You realize now that survival is about more than just escaping danger. It's about how you emerge on the other side. The tomb was an ordeal, but it also forged you, sharpened you like a blade, and now you are ready for whatever lies ahead. You come across a small ridge, and from it you can see the landscape stretching out before you. Rolling hills of sand, the occasional scattered rock, and the endless sky above. The world is vast, and in this moment, it feels open to you. You've learned that the road ahead will not be easy, that life will continue to present its challenges. But you now know that you can face them. You've survived the tomb. You've learned what it means to live without the weight of greed, without the desire for what isn't yours. And you've found a new kind of strength, one that doesn't come from the treasures of the dead, but from the life you still have to live. You take a long, steadying breath, feeling the warmth of the sun against your skin, and then, with a sense of resolve, you begin your descent from the ridge. The future is waiting for you, full of possibilities, full of new paths to explore. It doesn't matter that you don't know what comes next. What matters is that you're free to choose. What matters is that the journey is yours. The tomb may have taken many before you, but you are not one of them. The treasure you sought, gold, jewels, fame, was never meant for you. What you've gained is far more valuable. The wisdom to know that life, in all its uncertainty, is a gift. And now you are ready to live it. As you walk, the sound of your footsteps is the only thing you hear, a steady rhythm that matches the beat of your heart. The world is open, and it's time for you to walk its path, wherever it may lead. The Pharaohs' treasure was never yours to take, but the treasure of life, the treasure of choice, of freedom, is yours, and you will carry it with you for as long as you live. And with that, you walk on into the horizon, your future wide open before you, ready to meet the next adventure with the strength of one who has already faced the tomb, already faced death itself, and emerged victorious. The further you walk, the more the desert feels like a vast ocean, stretching endlessly in every direction, yet somehow it no longer feels suffocating. It feels liberating. You feel the weight of the tomb, slipping further from your shoulders with each step, as if the sand beneath your feet is washing away the last remnants of the curse, the gold, the ancient whispering voices that once haunted your every move. The desert is now a companion, not an adversary, its vast emptiness holding the promise of new beginnings. The world around you seems so quiet now. The only sound is the wind, dancing lightly over the sand, stirring it into gentle ripples. There's no rush, no urgency, just the steady rhythm of your footsteps, the quiet thrum of life still pulsing in your veins. The tomb was an ordeal, yes, but it has left you with something far more valuable than any treasure you sought. It has left you with the clarity of purpose. You understand now, in ways you never did before, that life itself is the greatest treasure. Life to live freely, life to make choices, life to forge ahead into the unknown. The horizon is wide, stretching out before you, but now it feels like an open invitation, not an overwhelming challenge. The days ahead are unwritten, and that, in itself, is a kind of magic. The world is full of paths, full of experiences waiting to be had. And for the first time, you realize you don't need to be afraid of where they might lead. The tomb tried to break you, tried to make you bow to its darkness, but you refused. Now, standing here in the quiet desert, you are reminded of your own strength, the strength to walk away, to let go, to move forward without the burden of the past holding you back. You take a deep breath, letting the warmth of the sun fill your chest. The cool desert wind dances around you, tussling your hair and brushing your face with its soft touch. It's a contrast to the tomb, where the air had been thick with the weight of centuries, thick with the anger of the Pharaoh's curse. But here, in the open desert, the air is clear. The sky stretches above you, a deep blue canvas that seems almost impossibly wide. And beneath it, you are free. You think about all you've left behind. The treasure you never took, the curse that tried to claim you, the tomb that sought to trap you in its dark grip. It was never about any of those things. It was always about the journey. And now, you are living that journey. You are walking it, one step at a time, into a future you choose to create. As the day moves forward, you feel a sense of peace wash over you. The urgency of the tomb, the need for treasure, the fear of the curse. All of it feels distant now, like a story you once heard, but no longer live. The path ahead is yours. It is a road not defined by riches or curses, but by your choices, your freedom, your determination to shape your own life. That is the true treasure you've earned. For the first time, you allow yourself to smile, a soft curve of your lips that feels unfamiliar yet comforting. You have come so far, and you will continue to go further. The desert is vast, but with each step, it feels less like an unknown wasteland, and more like a place where you can carve your own future. The world beyond the tomb is wide and full of promise. You take another step, and another, until the horizon seems closer now, within reach. The desert no longer seems like an enemy. Instead, it feels like a companion guiding you forward. You don't know where it will take you, but for the first time, you know you will be ready for whatever lies ahead. The world ahead of you is full of possibilities. You might encounter more trials, more obstacles, more challenges, but now you know that you can face them. You've already faced the greatest test of all. The tomb tried to break you. It tried to claim you, but you emerged stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever to walk your own path. The treasure of the Pharaohs may remain buried, but the true treasure, the one you carry within, is yours, and nothing can take that away. As the day stretches on and the sun climbs higher, you feel a new energy fill you. The energy of someone who has seen the depths of despair and emerged into the light. The journey ahead is yours to make, and you will walk it with the knowledge that you are stronger than the tomb, stronger than the curse. You have chosen to live, and that is the greatest choice of all. You don't look back. You don't need to. The tomb is behind you, and the future is ahead. The open road awaits. The sun climbs higher, casting its warmth over the desert as the wind continues to sweep across the endless sands. Its rhythmic whispers like a song from the past, reminding you that this world, this life, is yours to navigate. The weight of the tomb, the curse, the echoes of ancient curses that once pressed against your heart. They are all fading, slipping away like the footprints you leave behind in the sand. With every step, the past becomes less of a burden, and the world ahead of you feels more like a vast, open invitation. You've crossed the threshold. You've left the tomb behind. The world no longer feels like a prison, but a canvas. And the brushes are in your hands, ready for the strokes that will define your future. You move with purpose, knowing that whatever awaits, you are ready. The lessons learned in the depths of the tomb are not to be forgotten. They are etched into your soul, each one a scar that serves as a reminder of what you've overcome. The desert, once a daunting expanse, now feels like an old friend. It doesn't push you to hurry. It simply invites you to move at your own pace, one step at a time, leaving you to find your rhythm. The sand beneath your feet is warm, but not uncomfortable, and the air, once dry and suffocating in the tomb, now feels open, fresh, and full of possibility. There is no urgency, no race. You can take your time. You're not running from anything anymore. You're not fleeing from the past. You're embracing the future with all its mystery and promise. As the hours pass, you notice small things, details you might have missed before. The sound of the wind shifting the sand, the way the light dances on the horizon, the subtle changes in the color of the sky. There is life in the desert, even if it's hidden beneath the surface. You feel connected to it in a way you never have before. The tomb, with all its death and decay, has shown you something vital. That life, even in its most fleeting moments, is a gift. And you have a chance to embrace it now, without fear or regret. You walk further, the sun now a warm companion in the sky, its rays falling gently across the desert. The journey ahead may be long, but it's yours to make. There is no more searching for something to fill the empty spaces of your heart. You've already found it. The treasure isn't in the gold, in the riches, in the fame. It was in the very act of surviving, of walking away, of choosing your path. The quiet of the desert gives you space to think. You wonder, briefly, about the people who will follow in your footsteps. The tomb will continue to lure others, promising riches and glory, but they will not know what you know. They will not see the danger that lies in wait for those who seek to rob the dead. You feel a strange sense of pity for them, for those who will make the same mistakes, chase after the same hollow promises. But you know better now, and that knowledge is the true treasure, the one that no tomb, no curse, no power can take from you. The horizon ahead begins to shift, the landscape slowly changing from the endless sea of sand to a more rugged terrain. The change is subtle at first, but it's there. A new chapter in your journey is beginning to unfold. You don't know what's ahead, but you know one thing for certain. You are not the same person who entered that tomb. You are more than the sum of your choices, your mistakes, your victories, and your failures. You are free to choose what comes next, to walk forward with the knowledge that your journey is not defined by the past, but by the choices you make from here on out. The desert has become a place of reflection, of realization. Each grain of sand beneath your feet is a reminder of the vastness of the world and the endless possibilities it holds. The tomb was a chapter, a necessary trial, but now it is behind you. Ahead lies a life full of choices, choices that are yours alone to make. As the sun begins to set, painting the sky with hues of orange and purple, you stop for a moment, taking in the beauty of the desert as it fades into twilight. The journey is not over, and there are still many unknowns ahead. But you are no longer afraid. The tomb may have tried to claim you, but you escaped. You survived. You've learned to live on your own terms, and that knowledge is the key to the future. you resume your walk, your pace steady and sure. The night will come soon, but for now, you're content to simply exist in the moment, to appreciate the peace that comes from knowing you are alive and that you are free. The tomb is behind you. The future is ahead, and it's yours for the taking. The night sky stretches above you now, a vast ocean of stars, each one a point of light in the infinite expanse. You've walked for hours, the desert's warm embrace turning cool under the cover of twilight. The rhythm of your footsteps has become second nature, the steady pulse of your body in sync with the shifting desert landscape. The world is quieter now, the hum of the day fading into the stillness of the night. Yet, in this quiet, you feel more alive than ever. You glance up at the stars, their brilliance almost overwhelming in their beauty. It's easy to forget how small you are in the grand scheme of things, how fleeting this life is. But out here, in the open desert, with nothing but the sand and the stars as company, you remember your place in the world. You are but a single soul in the endless stretch of time, yet your choices, how you choose to live, are yours alone to make. You've learned that the tomb, with its curses and treasures, was never the end. It was just a beginning that has shaped you into someone who is ready for whatever lies ahead. You stop to rest for a moment, your eyes searching the horizon. The world feels infinite, and yet you are a part of it. The desert holds secrets, just as the tomb did. It speaks in whispers, just as the tomb did. But here, you are not a trespasser. You are not a thief. You are simply a traveler, walking through a vast and ancient land. You take a deep breath, savoring the stillness, the quiet, the peace that comes with knowing you have survived. As you rest, the wind shifts, carrying with it the scent of something far away, perhaps a distant oasis, or the scent of another traveler's campfire. You can't tell, but it doesn't matter. What matters is that you are no longer running, no longer fleeing from the past. The tomb is behind you, its lessons etched in your heart. And as the wind stirs the sand around you, you realize that the desert, for all its desolation, has become a place of renewal. The horizon, once so far away, now feels closer. It is no longer a place of fear or uncertainty, but a place of possibility. You've crossed into a new chapter of your life, and the pages are waiting to be written. Each step you take is a new line, a new story unfolding. And though you don't know exactly what the future holds, you know one thing for certain. You will face it with the strength and wisdom you've gained in the tomb, and with the freedom you've earned. The stars above twinkle like a map of your journey, guiding you forward into the unknown. You take another step, and then another, your feet moving with a steady purpose. The night feels alive with potential, full of paths yet to be discovered. You could go anywhere. You could do anything. The road ahead is as wide as the desert itself, and you are free to walk it, unburdened by the past. For a long time, you walk in silence, the desert stretching endlessly around you, the stars your only companions. The tomb feels so far away now, almost as if it was a dream, a distant memory that no longer haunts you. What once felt like an inescapable trap is now a chapter you have closed, and you are free. The future is no longer something to fear, no longer a mystery you must escape. It is something to be embraced, with all its unknowns, with all its promise. And as you walk through the night, the vast desert before you, you realize that you are not alone. The lessons of the tomb, the whispers of the dead, the gaze of the figure at the altar, They all remain with you, a part of you. But they do not define you. You do. The journey ahead will not be easy, but you are ready. You are stronger than you ever knew. And as the stars above watch over you, you know that no matter what comes next, you will meet it with courage, with clarity, and with the wisdom that comes from having faced death itself and emerged into the light. The wind picks up again, and the sand dances at your feet. The world is vast, but now it feels like a place where you belong. You are no longer a wanderer running from your past. You are a traveler, walking with purpose, with freedom, with hope. The tomb may have tried to claim you, but you have claimed your life back. You have chosen to live, and that choice, above all else, is the greatest treasure of all. The night carries on, the desert stretching endlessly before you, bathed in the soft glow of starlight. The wind whispers around you, a gentle reminder that the world is full of both stillness and motion. The sand shifts beneath your feet, the landscape constantly changing, but you remain steady in your walk, the rhythm of your steps as constant as the pulse of your heart. There's a sense of deep contentment now, a peace that has settled over you like the night sky itself. The tomb may have been an ordeal, but now it's just part of your past, part of what shaped you into who you are today. The desert feels different from when you first stepped into it. Where once it seemed like a barren wasteland, a place full of danger and uncertainty, it now feels like a vast expanse full of potential. You have come through the worst of it, and now the open space before you is a place of opportunity. The air is cool, but carries the warmth of the earth beneath it. Each breath fills you with a sense of freedom, of being alive. The sun will rise soon, but for now, the world is still, quiet, waiting. You can't help but think of how far you've come. The figure at the altar, the lessons learned in the tomb, the decisions made in the face of death, all of it has led to this moment. The past no longer defines you. It's behind you now, fading away like the last echoes of a dream. The present is where you stand, and the future is open before you, an unwritten story waiting to be told. You have the power to decide what comes next. With every step, you shed the weight of the past. The tomb, its riches, its curse, it's all fading into the distance, like a shadow cast behind you. The world ahead is full of paths, some straight and clear, others winding and uncertain. But all of them are yours to choose. The knowledge you've gained, the wisdom that came from surviving the tomb, has prepared you for whatever lies ahead. The stars above seem brighter now, as if they are cheering you on, guiding your path through the darkness. There's a quiet magic in the way the world feels tonight. It's not the desert that has changed. It's you. The journey you've been on has shaped you in ways you never imagined, and now you are free to embrace whatever comes next. The weight of the tomb, of its curse, has lifted. You've faced it, survived it, and emerged into the light. As the night deepens, you find a place to rest, settling down on the cool sand. The wind carries the faint scent of something distant, perhaps an oasis, perhaps a village. But for now, it doesn't matter. The night is yours, and in this moment, there is nothing but peace. The tomb, the figure, the whispers, they are all far behind, and for the first time, you can simply be. You close your eyes and listen to the desert, to the wind, to the world around you, and you realize that you have earned this quiet. You've earned the rest. The sun will rise soon, bringing with it the promise of a new day, a new journey. You don't know where the road will take you, but you're not afraid. The tomb may have tried to claim you, but you've learned something far more valuable than any treasure it could offer. You've learned that life, in all its uncertainty, is something to be embraced, something to be lived. You don't need gold or jewels to feel rich. You have everything you need in this moment. The freedom to choose, the strength to walk forward, and the wisdom to know that no matter what comes, you are ready. As the first light of dawn begins to touch the horizon, you open your eyes and rise. The journey continues. The world is wide, full of possibilities, and you are free to explore it. The tomb may still stand in the distance, but it holds no power over you now. The treasure you sought was never in the gold or the riches. It was in the life you now live, in the choices you've made, and in the freedom to walk your own path. You set your sights on the horizon, and with each step you take, you feel the weight of the past fall further behind. The world is vast, but it is yours to explore. You have survived, and you are ready for whatever lies ahead. The dawn breaks gently over the horizon, casting a warm golden glow over the desert. The sun rises with a quiet majesty, turning the sands into a shimmering sea of light. You stand for a moment, your feet still in the cool desert sand, and watch the world wake up around you. The desert, once a place of uncertainty, now feels like a vast canvas, waiting to be filled with the story of your life. The journey you've been on, through the tomb and beyond, has prepared you for this moment. A moment where you realize that the future, full of its unknowns, is yours to shape. You take a deep breath, inhaling the crisp, fresh air, and let it fill your lungs. The desert is waking, the wind stirring the sands, the quiet hum of life returning to the land. It's the perfect moment of stillness before the day begins in earnest. You know that the path ahead won't always be easy, that there will be more trials, more challenges. But you also know that you have everything you need to face them. The tomb taught you that life isn't about avoiding the darkness. It's about learning how to walk through it and emerge stronger on the other side. As the sun climbs higher, you take your first step forward. The sand feels warm beneath your feet now, but it doesn't burn. Instead, it feels like a steady foundation beneath you, solid and real. You've learned to trust your own strength, to trust the choices you make. The tomb is far behind you, its shadow fading into the past. The figure at the altar, the curse, the gold, it no longer matters. What matters is what lies ahead, and for the first time in a long while, you are ready to face it. With each step, the horizon seems closer, more tangible. The desert stretches out before you, vast and unending, but you no longer feel small in its presence. The world, once intimidating, now feels full of possibility. There are no limits here, only the promise of new beginnings. The lessons of the tomb will always stay with you, but they no longer define you. You are not the person who entered that tomb. You are someone new, someone who has faced death, faced fear, and come out stronger. You think back on the journey, on everything that has led you to this point. The smuggler, the tomb, the treasure. It all feels like part of a distant story now, a story that shaped who you are, but no longer controls your path. The past is behind you, and you have the power to choose what comes next. You're no longer running, no longer escaping. You're moving forward, guided by the lessons you've learned and the strength you've gained. The road ahead may be long, and the world is still vast and unknown, but you know that you will face it with clarity and determination. There's no more need to chase after treasure or glory. What you found in the tomb, and what you've discovered along the way, is more valuable than any riches you could ever possess. The gift of life, the freedom to choose, the strength to walk your own path, those are the true treasures, and no one can take those from you. As the sun climbs higher, the world around you comes alive with color. The golden light of the desert turning the sky into a canvas of reds, oranges, and soft pinks. It's a beautiful sight, one that reminds you of the vastness of the world, of all the opportunities that await. The road ahead is open, and with it comes the promise of new experiences, new adventures, and new challenges. But you are ready. You've faced the tomb, and you've emerged victorious. There's nothing left to fear. You take another step, then another. The horizon feels within reach now, and the future seems less like an unknown and more like a place to be explored, a place where you can leave your mark. The desert no longer feels empty. It feels full of potential. The tomb may have been a dark chapter in your life, but it was only a chapter. The story is far from over, and now you are the one holding the pen. As you walk toward the future, you feel a deep sense of peace settle within you. The world is full of uncertainties, but you no longer fear them. You've learned that life, in all its complexity and mystery, is a gift. And now it's yours to live. The wind picks up, carrying the scent of the desert with it, and you smile to yourself. This is your journey now, and it's a journey that will continue with each new step. The tomb, the pharaoh, the gold, they are all part of the past. What matters is what you do next. You walk on, the road ahead wide open, the future full of promise, and you, with all the strength you've earned, are ready to embrace it. The desert sun climbs higher, the heat growing more intense as the day unfolds. Yet, there's a strange comfort in the heat. You've grown accustomed to the desert's embrace, its stark, endless beauty, and its silence. The wind still carries the faint scent of jasmine, mingling with the warmth of the sand. It's as if the desert is alive in its own way, a place that both challenges and nurtures those who dare to walk its vast stretches. With every step you take, the landscape shifts subtly, as though it's welcoming you into a new chapter, one that promises not just survival, but something far greater. You think of the tomb, of the darkness you walked through, and of the lessons it forced you to learn. It was a place of testing, of curses and treasure, of life and death entwined in a twisted dance. And yet, as you walk further away from it, you realize that it was only the beginning of your journey. The treasure you sought was never hidden in gold or jewels, but in the knowledge gained, in the growth that came from facing the shadows and walking out into the light. The past, as distant as it seems now, still carries its weight. But now it feels lighter, more like a whisper than a command. You've learned the hard way that the things you chase, the fleeting treasures of this world, are nothing compared to the deeper things that give life meaning, freedom, choice, purpose. And those things are yours now. No one can take them from you. The Pharaoh's curse, the tomb's labyrinthine corridors, the figure that watched over the treasure, all of it fades into the distance. What remains is the open desert, the wide horizon, and the path before you. The journey ahead is long. You know, there will be obstacles to face, challenges to overcome, and uncertainties to navigate. But you also know that you are ready for them. The strength that once came from seeking treasure now comes from within. You've learned that the true treasures in life are not gold, but the wisdom gained through hardship, the peace that comes from surviving the worst and walking forward with purpose. As you walk, your gaze rises to the sky, and for the first time, you see the horizon not as a distant, unreachable place, but as a doorway to your future. The world is wide and full of paths, some hidden in shadows, others bathed in light. But the desert, vast and unyielding, has taught you that it's not the path that matters, but how you choose to walk it. You've already chosen, haven't you? The choice to leave the tomb behind, to walk away from the past and its burdens. The choice to move forward, not because you're escaping something, but because you are embracing what lies ahead. Each step you take is a confirmation of that decision. And with each step, you feel the weight of the past grow lighter. You come across a rise, a small hill that gives you a better view of the land ahead. From here, the desert stretches out before you, seemingly infinite, its vastness both humbling and liberating. The world is yours to explore, to understand, to shape. The past no longer holds you. The future, full of promise and uncertainty, is yours to meet. The desert winds whisper something to you. Something soft, something familiar. But it's not a warning anymore. It's a reminder that you are not alone in this. The world, in all its vastness, is full of stories, and yours is just beginning. The light of the sun grows warmer still, but you welcome it. The air feels crisp and fresh, carrying with it the sense of renewal, the knowledge that you've stepped into a new life. The tomb, with its trials and tests, has shaped you, but it no longer defines you. You are the one who writes your story now. The treasures you once sought, gold, riches, power, have no hold on you. What matters now is the journey itself, the path you choose to walk. As you continue your journey, the road ahead seems clearer. The sand beneath your feet, the desert stretching out before you, they are not obstacles. They are the backdrop for your story, the setting for the adventures yet to come. The horizon is wide and welcoming, and with each step, you walk into the future, a future that is yours to shape. You may not know what lies ahead, but for the first time, you don't need to. The world is full of uncertainty, but you are no longer afraid of it. The tomb tried to claim you, but you have survived. And now, you are free. The desert's vastness feels different now, its endless expanse less intimidating than it once was. Instead of a barren wasteland, it now seems like a canvas, waiting for the strokes of your journey to fill it with meaning. You walk on, the heat of the day pressing against your skin, the soft sound of your footsteps a reminder of your presence in this immense world. The wind shifts, carrying the scent of the earth, the reminder that life exists even in the harshest of places. You are a part of it now, moving through the desert with the grace of someone who knows the power of choice. As you walk, you reflect on the change within you. The tomb, with all its dangers, its treasures, its deadly traps, seems so far away now, a place you once feared but now understand. The fear you felt when you first entered that dark, suffocating space has long since been replaced with a calm sense of clarity. You were tested there, not by the Pharaoh's wrath or the traps of the tomb, but by your own resolve. The real journey wasn't just escaping death. It was learning what to do with the life you have. And now, you are carrying that life forward with you, stepping into a future that is yours to create. You pause for a moment, standing atop a small rise, and look out over the land. The horizon stretches before you, the world feeling wide open and full of promise. The tomb may have been a place of death, but it's also where you learned how to live. It was there, in the dark corridors, in the quiet moments of fear and doubt, that you discovered something far more valuable than any treasure could offer. The understanding that survival isn't just about avoiding danger. It's about facing it, confronting it, and continuing to walk forward, no matter the obstacles in your path. The wind stirs around you, lifting the sand in soft swirls, reminding you of the movement of time itself. Time moves on, relentless and ever-present, but now you feel more connected to it, more at peace with its passing. The future is not a distant unknown, it is a space where your choices will unfold, one step at a time. There are no guarantees in life, no promises of smooth roads or easy journeys. But the desert has taught you that it's not the path that defines you. It's the way you walk it. You take another step, then another. Each one feels more certain than the last. You've learned to trust yourself, to trust the strength that comes from surviving the tomb, from living through the challenges that life throws your way. The desert stretches ahead, but you no longer feel small in its presence. Instead, you feel empowered, ready to meet whatever lies ahead with courage and determination. As you continue your journey, the path begins to change. The sand gives way to harder ground, the landscape shifting ever so subtly. The sun hangs high in the sky, casting its warmth over you, and for the first time, you realize that the journey doesn't need to be about reaching a specific destination. It's about the act of walking itself, the process of moving forward, of experiencing each moment as it comes. The world is vast, full of untold stories, and you are a part of it. The tomb was one chapter, but the story isn't over. It never truly ends, does it? Each moment, each choice, adds a new layer to the tale of your life. The treasure of the Pharaohs may still lie buried in the sands, but you no longer seek it. You have found something far more precious, the knowledge that your life, your choices, are your own. And that knowledge gives you the strength to continue. As the day wears on, and the sun begins its slow descent, painting the sky with colors of gold and crimson, you feel the deep pull of something new, something beyond the tomb, beyond the past, beyond what you thought was possible. You are free, not just from the tomb's curse, but from all the things that once held you back. The future is yours to shape, and you have everything you need to make it your own. With the desert stretching before you, and the sky opening up above you, you take one last look behind, at the tomb, at the figure, at the choices you made that led you to this moment. And then, without hesitation, you turn forward, ready to walk into the unknown, ready to embrace whatever the future holds. You don't know where the road will take you, but for the first time, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you are alive, you are free. And that is all you need to move forward. The world before you feels infinite, as if the horizon stretches out with boundless possibilities, waiting for your story to unfold. Each step you take in the desert feels lighter than the last, as if the weight of the past is finally fading into the distance, swept away by the wind. The tomb, the gold, the curse, they are all behind you now, nothing more than a memory. But the lessons they imparted are carved deeply into your heart, lessons that will guide you as you continue your journey. The day wears on, the sun slowly dipping lower in the sky, casting long shadows on the ground. The desert, with its endless sea of sand, feels almost peaceful now. No longer does it seem like an unforgiving wasteland, but a place of infinite opportunity. You have walked through its harshness, its silence, its burning heat, and come out the other side with something more valuable than anything the tomb could have offered: the knowledge that life, even in its most uncertain moments, is worth living. As the light softens and the shadows grow longer, you take a deep breath, savoring the moment. The night will come soon, and with it, a new kind of stillness, a calmness that will match the peace that has settled over you. You realize that you don't need to rush. There's no race to win, no destination to reach. The journey itself, the act of walking, is where the value lies. It is not the places you go that define you, but the way you move through the world. And you are moving forward now, steady and sure. The horizon before you is still distant, but it no longer feels unreachable. The vastness of the world, once a source of anxiety, is now a canvas for your story. You will fill it with your choices, your actions, your discoveries. There is no fear of the unknown anymore. You know that whatever comes next, you will face it with the strength and clarity you've earned through surviving the tomb and embracing the freedom that now surrounds you. You take another step, and then another, the rhythm of your movement matching the steady beat of your heart. The sun begins to set, the sky painted with deep reds, purples, and oranges, casting a soft glow over the desert. The world is quiet now, the air cool and crisp as the day fades into night. You stop for a moment, taking it all in, the stillness of the desert, the beauty of the evening sky, and the peace that has settled in your soul. You think back to the tomb, to the fear and uncertainty that gripped you when you first entered its dark halls. You think of the treasures you sought, the riches you believed would give you everything you wanted. But now, you see how wrong you were. The treasure wasn't in the gold or the jewels. The true treasure was in the lessons learned, in the courage to face the darkness, and in the freedom to walk away from it. As the sun disappears below the horizon, you realize that the future is full of endless possibilities. The tomb may have been a trial, but it was only one chapter in the story of your life. You've learned that the road ahead, though unknown, is not something to fear. It is something to embrace. The world is vast, and though you may not know where it will take you, you know that you are ready. The stars begin to appear in the sky, their light soft and distant, but comforting in its steady brilliance. You smile, for the first time in what feels like forever, and you know that you are no longer a victim of your past. You are the master of your future, the writer of your own story. With the desert stretching out before you and the night sky above, you feel a sense of peace that you've never known before. The tomb is behind you, and the journey ahead is yours to create. You don't know what lies ahead, but you don't need to. You are alive. You are free. And that is all you need to move forward. The stars above guide your path, and with each step, you walk into the future, no longer afraid of what it holds. The road ahead is open, and you are ready to walk it with strength, wisdom, and the peace that comes from knowing you have faced the darkness and emerged into the light.